Shooting star, the whole situation. And then immediately, he, just to check the box, I mean, he knew that I wasn't a threat to my life at the moment. I mean, we had a decent relationship. He knew that wasn't the case. But he went ahead and took my rifle for a day, and I got flown to Jalalabad, where I met the mental health lady for the first time.
Good.
They put me on some meds. We talked, and then when they sent me back to the cop, got my weapon back. Everything was good to go. I never lost my job or anything.
What's that? What was your platoon sergeant's name? What was his name?
David White. He was a G. We called him 027. It was a 007 pun. But this guy is the type of guy that, like, we got shot at one day in our valley, and he dismounts with our medic and starts going, like, charging the hill. We hadn't even got out of our vehicles yet. So he's taking on everybody with just him and the medic. And we literally have to yell at him to get him back in the vehicle because he's just that guy. Yeah. He's just pissed off.
Hey, if you can reach out there to David White, tell him to reach out to us, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to have him on the show. He reminds me of of all the great NCOs I served with, and I like being in the company of those kind of.
He was amazing.
Kind of folks.
He actually didn't complete the deployment with us. There was a running joke that any vehicle he got in got blown up. The vehicle I was in got hit. I think he was in like 4 IEDs while we were there, and so his brain was doing things, and he ended up getting replaced and stuff.
When's the last time you talked to him?
It's been about a year. He builds motorcycles and he does leather work, and he owns a business. And
reach out. We'll get together. I want to talk to this guy.
Yeah. I have some good guys.
Good. Get all of them, man. We want them.
Yeah.
We'll treat him right here.
Yeah, he's like 6'7", like does like MMA, and
we don't do that stuff in here, but he can come talk.
Right. No, he's a cool dude. He really is.
No arm bars and jokes up in here.
He's one of the scariest dudes I know. Like, he'll come in, he'll just kick the door open, and you better not be standing by that door. You'll get it to the face.
Good.
He doesn't care, so it's cool. But yeah, that deployment, man. That deployment, fucking crazy. Fighting every day.
So you finish up that deployment, man, and now you've got a confirmed TBI.
Yep.
What's going on in your head, man? What's going on in your life at that point? Once you get back, what's your headspace like with that?
So this is where my life completely is fucked up. Like I was dealing with a divorce while I was in Kunar. My youngest child was born in December while I was over there. I actually didn't find out until I was told on Facebook. So my relationship with her wasn't very well. So I get back and I'm in a brand new relationship with someone who was just kind of wild and crazy and just as wild and kind of crazy as I was at the time, and drinking a lot and bad mental space because so we did a mission right before we came home from our deployment, a week before we came home. Like, our stuff's already packed away in the Connexes and already sent over. We did a mission that we lost 6 guys in the first day in our battalion, and it hit everybody really, really hard. And then a week later, we're SRPing. I mean, we're coming home. I mean, a week later. And
it's like, why couldn't we just take it easy for a couple of weeks? We would.
By that time, you're like, oh shit, I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. I'm going home. I'm actually going home. And then you do a 2-day mission that ends up being a 9-day mission into an area that, like, the Russians were defeated in. Yeah. And so, we come home all messed up. Like I said, the TBI, man, I didn't really realize what was happening to me. I didn't realize the rewiring of my brain. I didn't realize how actually messed up I was. I was on all these different medications. I couldn't perform in my platoon. I was still in my platoon at this time. I hadn't went to WTU yet. and I started getting a lot of consequences for not being able to perform, for going to medical appointments. I mean, I couldn't do a 3-mile run. I remember the medications I was on. Every time my feet would hit the ground, my face would just like a numb, and I just didn't have the heart or the mental capacity to kind of like go past it, and I just kind of gave up. And I I didn't have my kids. I didn't have didn't have anybody in my life. My whole unit was treating me like I was a piece of shit because I couldn't do my job anymore. It's a dog eat dog world, and my spot came open. So I got put into a platoon with the chapter people, because we got some chapters because of drug instances while we were overseas. And so to be put into the same platoon as people who, are getting Article 15s and getting kicked out of the military, and to be treated the same way as that, I mean, they shouldn't even been treated like that. But, for someone who's got an injury and who's trying to actually like get their life back together, being treated like that stunted my recovery for years.
Absolutely, dude.
One of my best friends, his name's Kyle. I mean, we were really, really close before and during the deployment, but then when I started struggling, he, everyone, a lot of people turned their backs, and a lot of people treated me very, very negatively. And I just talked to him maybe a couple months ago, 2 months ago, and he apologized for all that and said I should have never been treated like that. And I think just now I'm starting to like get to where it's like I'm not feeling the effects of that anymore.
Right. I wonder if that's like the culture of the warrior, but it's kind of a misguided thing where it's like he's suffering, we went through the same thing. It's like I don't want to do that. I think that's why that happens, it's because they're afraid that, it's like they're going to catch some kind of disease or something.
Or be categorized as potentially like that person. It is bad because it's like that whole you are the company you keep, but even an injury is considered a different category, in the military mentality, because you're supposed to be able to perform at all times. If you're out on mission, you can't go to sick call today, man. What if a mission was today?
Yeah.
That kind of business, but that's the wrong way to do business, because we end up with veterans that are hurt in more ways than one.
Two thoughts, I think, with that. One, and I got to say this for all veterans and for all people, like, we're not perfect. Yeah. Our organization is not perfect. We are just guys trying our hardest.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Guys and gals, man,
we're just trying. We're spitballing all this. We're making it up as we go. We're doing the best we can. That being said, there's this mentality where if you go get help and you're not there to do your job, it's almost like, hey, send the dogs. Let's eat it. Let's eat our own. Let's eat our own, and let's make it to where no one has the audacity to ever be hurt again. Let's make sure that no one. So it's all about strength and numbers, and we guilt trip each other to just being there, and it fucked me up. I don't know a better way.
Yeah.
I don't know, because at the end of the day, we are going to war. We are killing people. Mm-hmm. We are willing to die. Like, that is some brutal, nasty, ugly stuff. And sometimes you're going to get treated brutal, ugly, and nasty. And I think you can't take some of that out without fluffing our own military. You have to kind of keep that ruthlessness. Only an opinion, and I can be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, there's something to the fact of, hey, if you show weakness, I'm going to eat you.
Well, that would be the same thing as saying, like, my grandpa, he's getting ready to retire, and or like if he's getting ready to retire, and he's been at this company for 30 years, and he gets ready to retire, and they're just like, hey, get out the door, dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right, because
right.
This person has contributed, to the organization, and the organization could, granted, the organization goes out of its way that one day to like show that person they appreciate him, then they're gone. but they don't put a. I mean, they're not like singing "Kumbaya" to him every day when they come in. There's no ritual. He's done.
Yeah, and they don't call him.
And the thing is, it's everyone else has. There's still assignments due. There's still a paycheck that has to be earned. And I think for military, it's the same way. It's like, one, we've got that, don't be associated with them because they're not, they're not on the line. They're not, they're not out patrolling. They're not, they're over here. So don't associate with them. But at the same time, too, they've got a focus that now, those people have taken their eye off of. Because for them, it's like if you're being medically discharged, your hope of going on the next deployment is done.
Right.
For them, it hasn't changed.
Right.
Their life is still, and they may hold a little bit of animosity towards you for not being a part of this next adventure.
Oh, for sure.
But that's just how it is. There's not. I mean, it can grow to be unhealthy, but I think it's natural. You know what I'm saying? To be like, God, you're gonna. Especially if you went and banged it out together, and it's like, I don't know. That's like that's my thought on it.
No, perfect. I mean,
think
I agree with that 100%. And when we came home, most of our leadership changed.
Yeah.
So our leadership that was there, we didn't deploy with.
And they didn't have eyes on you or knew your history too.
Didn't know the history, didn't know anything about us.